Are you talking about restaurants too? I mean,
well, no, I mean just
a kiss of death.
Well, yeah, right. You know, it appears that what he's going at is actually on the beach where it's common property here, and I mean, as long as the two groups are separated, you know, hopefully they could peacefully coexist. But it's going to be real interesting how all that works out. So
I don't think he's going to get very far with it.
No, I don't think he will either. Folks, we've talked about the Valentino case, sitting county commissioner in a scammy county, and a grand jury was just impaneled.
Yes.
For a misdemeanor charge.
One of the most minor things. I mean, when you think of all the other stuff that goes on, and this minor infraction where supposedly or allegedly he asked somebody to give him money and that's illegal.
Well, I can tell you from the standpoint of a person from Santa Rosa County who spent a great deal of time at the state attorney's office. Not only did I ask for a grand jury, look, I'm not saying guilty or innocent.
Right.
I was simply saying, Bill Edens, please take this to a grand jury. And I wasn't the only one that said that. I made a public records request and looked through there, and I can assure you there were many emails from folks who was requesting the same thing. A grand jury is a good method, as long as it's not, as long as they don't keep a bridle on the grand jury members. It is a very good, hey, put the stuff out there in front of them, and if they say there's nothing there, call it a day and roll it up. This in particular, calling a grand jury for one, ladies and gentlemen, one possible charge of a misdemeanor. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't want my elected officials taking political campaigns on the property that I pay for.
Right.
And if I find it over here in Santa Rosa County, I'm going to report it.
Well, but, I think we have found ample evidence.
But of all of the things that we see in the newspapers and on TV that a grand jury could be convened for, this is ridiculous.
Yes, it's obviously political. There's no question that it's political.
And you know, it just really shocks me.
It stinks, honestly. And, I mean, it's a waste of tax dollars to go after something like that with that kind of resources.
Well, you know, you convene a grand jury, 18 people, you got to take a day out, all the people involved in all that kind of stuff. That could have all been handled inside the state attorney's office. They could have called in Dan Gilmore, here, fill out here's a piece of paper, put your written statement down.
Yeah.
Okay, well that looks strong enough to me. I, Bill Edens, am going to be a man about it, and we're going to file charges against you. No, they pawn it off to a grand jury that could have been doing a lot more important things.
Well, especially since it took us, and specifically you personally, actually talking to Governor Charlie Crist directly about the fact that Team Santa Rosa's meetings were not open to the public and they weren't doing a bang-up job of providing public records.
Exactly.
And the governor had to make a phone call because there was no action from the state attorney's office.
Couldn't get the state attorney's office.
Right.
That's Bill Edens, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be up for election in 2012. I will be the one in the middle of Highway 90 with a sign in the back of my truck on January the 2nd of 2012 that says Edens must go. So if you want to mark your calendars, he could have easily handled this.
Yeah.
And should have handled it.
Right.
And then I have to stand in front of the governor in a public meeting and just say, you know, Mr. Crist, we got a problem here.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, of course, my name is mud now because I told on them to their boss.
It was already mud.
But
meanwhile, we're wasting time on this. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's piddly.
Put all of our best detectives on this one.
Oh yeah, hammer down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, hammer down on that. You know, Mr. Edens, you know, certainly, you know, maybe somebody took a paper clip that you need to investigate. You know, that's more important than the murders, the rapes, and all the other things that go on.
Yeah, find out if Valentino has a government pen in his pocket while you're at it.
Yeah, let's screen all the government employees, and if we find a 19-cent Bic pen in their pocket, let's convene a grand jury for that. As the sarcasm is dripping off of me, ladies and gentlemen, you get me all fired up again about that. Absolutely. To go after something as piddly as that.
Yeah.
Just really ridiculous.
It's disgraceful.
Now, speaking of that race, ladies and gentlemen, because look, this race is actually even, there was another event last week, Karen Sindel,
yes,
who is also running for office in District 2. She is coming home from the grocery store, and a supporter of George Stewart is in her house.
Yes. Checking to see if she lived there.
Kind of wish she was a card-carrying member of the NRA.
Yeah.
And that she would have taken care of that problem. But that's the kind of silliness you got going on. But if it's not silly enough as it is, ladies and gentlemen, and let's look at it again. Valentino running for office, been in trouble a couple times. Then you bring in George Stewart, who wants to be county commissioner in Escambia County, run out on a flaming stick for all the land deals that he was a part of.
Allegedly.
Same thing over there. The property appraiser in Escambia County said a piece of property was worth $350,000, and he brought it to the county for $1.2 million. Same kind of stuff we see over here.
But was it shovel ready?
I don't know if it was shovel ready or not.
I think we can assume that it was.
So, and then you have Karen Sindel in the race. That's kind of the ones that are, that you're seeing in the press.
It's a big field in that race.
And somebody breaks into her house under the guise of, I want to know if you live in the district.
Right.
Well, that's laughable, folks. The law says, and I think it's virtually in every race, it says once you're elected, you have to live in your district. Now, I'll tell you, it won't help a candidate if people find out that you're not living in the district today. But the law doesn't say you have to live in it while you're campaigning. It says once you win an election. So it was, in my humble opinion, a very thinly veiled attempt to scare Miss Sindel. And
but that's just your opinion.
That's just my opinion. Apparently, it didn't scare her because she filed.
Yeah.
She immediately called the police and filed charges. So in that race, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Merzen, he was running for state senator.
Yes.
As a Republican against Greg Evers, and of course, this is also in the Pensacola News Journal. My friend Jamie Page wrote this. Dave Merzen said he's tired of hearing about controversy among some candidates running for the District 2 Escambia County Commission seat. Merzen has spent 4 terms in the State House and wants to spend more time with his young son. Merzen went on to say, I am sick and tired of opening up the Pensacola News Journal and reading about another controversy with the county commissioner or another group of candidates for District 2. It's a commissioner under indictment or candidates mired in controversy or something all the time. And, his 2 cents worth is he has put himself up and he has joined the race, and it is, and also, folks, keep in mind that in Escambia County, you only vote in your district. So, this thing, it may be 1,000 votes to it may be a tiny vote count.
Very close, yeah.
For the person who actually wins this race. Because when you start talking about just running in your district, of course, I think voter turnout's going to be a little bit bigger than 30% this year. I got a feeling it'll be pretty high, but